Let's go, Brandon. I
Yeah.
agree.
Let's see, Brandon. Audio, all right. Connection still stable. So, good. Welcome. My name is Ike. This is Switzerland.playit with TAGN. The Angry Game News every day, 10 a.m. I talk about video games, mainly about video games. I talk about movies a little bit, and sometimes about shows. I'm still like always thinking, is it okay to call them TV shows? Because TV as such is pretty dead. Pretty dead. So, can you call that stuff TV still? Ahoy, ouch, my junk in the chat there already. And today we got not a lot of news again. Since last week we got like just few news. But maybe we got a lot of interesting news though. You decide with me throughout the show. I picked this as the main story because I think that's not a good partnership which was just established there. NVidia with Intel. More like NVIDIA being here the big daddy, which is concerning, kind of concerning. But yeah, we're gonna see. Let's talk about random stuff more. Fortnite creators will soon be able to sell in-game items, pay for visibility. Fortnite creators will soon be able to earn a living selling in-game items in their creations, developer Epic Games has announced. In a detailed blog post, Epic outlines what percentage of in-game V-Bucks sales converted into US dollars from inside Fortnite user creator content will go to creators versus Epic Games. From December 2025 through the end of 2026, creators will get to keep around 74% of in-game sales. That will change on January 1st, 2027, when creators will instead earn about 37% of in-game V-Bucks spent. Which is... They try to lure you in, like with kind of a bigger percentage than on other creator platforms, I would say. 74%. And then next year already dropping that, like just halving it, you're gonna get just half of that. So you better get on this hype train right now. Ahoy, Godzilla! Haven't seen you for a while on the newscast because you're working, but you're again sick, bitch. I assume. Maybe not. Who knows? How are you doing? It's TV, just not TV by appointment. Time slotted. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Most people might consume their entertainment these days on mobile devices, on notebooks, on PCs, while they do something else, because they are so multitasking these days, everybody. No, nobody is. I like to get a day off to get stuff done at home. Okay. Good to know. So yeah, they're giving you only half in the next year, which is weird. Luring you in and then just getting all your money. In a FAQ, Epic said creators will be able to sell digital, durable, and consumable items built into their games, and for now will be limited to digital items only. Sales must also follow Epic's Iceland creators' rules. Epic is additionally giving creators a new way to increase the visibility of their islands, the sponsored row. A new row in Fortnite Discover section. Creators can pay to bid on placement in the sponsored row in order to increase their island visibility. Review generated by the sponsored row will go into an engagement payout pool, starting with 100% of the revenue from launch through 2026, and then reduced to 50% starting in 2027. Again, they try to lure in as much people as possible in the first year with big payouts here. With the V-Bucks and this creative sponsored row here, which I guess that's like a screenshot of how it's gonna look. And you can pay, Epic, you can pay to get into this row. How much? I don't see any numbers, how much you need to pay them. And I guess it depends on how many creators are around. The less creators there are around, probably the less you need to pay to get on the front row here. Maybe more honest approach, probably. Like, yeah, you pay us, we put you on the front, whatever. If you pay us more, we're going to put you further at the row here, at the front. Creators will continue to receive payouts based on engagement with their creations, which will be based on new formula that includes minutes played, new user acquisition, lapsed user acquisition, playtime surrounding V-Bucks spent, and island retention. Epic also will be launching what it calls Fortnite creator communities, a way for creators to connect with their audiences and community through forums and messages. Players will be able to like, post in-game, and can follow specific creators for notifications and updates. It's clear Epic is looking for a piece of Roblox user-created content revenue pie with these announcements, with Epic directly contrasting its payouts to Roblox in its blog post. Epic states that Roblox shares no revenue with creators who pay to have their creation sponsored, and pays out about 25% of it of in-experience dollars spent back to creators, according to the Earn on Roblox page with the Roblox Creator Hub. I mean, hopefully they are gonna use the money of their pie here, a big portion of their pie they are gonna get from the creators and people just buying items and stuff in the game, or V-Bucks directly in the game. I hope Epic is not going to become a new Roblox with very, very retarded and disgusting content. That's all I can say for now. But yeah, Fortnite saw like the success of Roblox. Roblox is making billions and billions with this model, just letting people create shit and everybody pay for this. Brain Rot, for example, is a game literally called in Roblox, which you just steal on a conveyor belt NPCs and put it in your gallery. It's literally brain rot you're playing. But yeah, Fortnite, I'm gonna make more money for Epic. Who knows? Let's see how that goes. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 tipped to take off on PS5 this November. The game was one of the first to be tipped for Sony's system, but a shaky launch last year potentially grounded plans for the port, while developer Asobo Studio performed some maintenance. Now Polish website PPE suggested an announcement is imminent, with a release scheduled in November. This would be around the time of title's first anniversary, and perhaps would make sense if the team has some updates planned to mark the occasion. The site claims there will also be physical copies, but this being a Microsoft release, don't expect the print run to be particularly large. Given the title's reliance on big updates and data packs, we also wouldn't be surprised if it opt for the game key disk option in an instant as well. I took this news because, believe it or not, Flight Simulator is for Microsoft a big thing. And also I'm like curious, how will it work out with the controls? Because in Flight Simulator, you can actually learn how to use a cockpit like efficiently with all the buttons, and you can buy all kinds of levers and a panel to learn to fly, like at least theoretically. So yeah, I'm wondering if we're gonna get new hardware for the PS5 with the game then, if it comes out, because it's not like confirmed message here. Big franchise there for Microsoft. Is it gonna make money a lot for PlayStation? Probably not. Now, this might touch almost nobody, but it's just interesting that they inform us. Steam informs us. Valve informs us. Steam ditches 32-bit support as Windows 10 nears its end. Valve has announced plans to end Steam support for systems running Windows 10 32-bit in the new year. If you haven't upgraded to a 64-bit version of Windows 10 yet, now's the time. Yeah, probably not Windows 10. Unfortunately, Windows 10 is also leaving support. The extended support. I think the second time or third time extended support. In a new post on Steam support page, the company said that come January 1st, 2026, systems running Windows 10 32-bit will no longer be supported. 32-bit games will keep playing for now, and Steam clients that are already installed will continue functioning for the near term. But they won't receive any updates after next year. This includes security updates or any technical support from Steam regarding old operating systems. And you never should have installed in the first place, to be honest, Windows 10 32-bit. Because with Windows Vista, we got like the first 64-bit versions of this operating systems by Microsoft. Like truly 64-bit, widely supported. And after the, I think, Service Pack 2, same with Service Pack 2 on Windows XP. With the Service Pack 2, Vista became finally really good and stable. So yeah. LTSC can be extended to 2025 Windows 10. Yep, we are in 2025. Godzilla. Yeah, 1 month. Microsoft has ended the support from next month on. Sup, you Discord psychos. He has heard one story about Discord and thinks he is now an expert. Our rabbit dick toucher. What's up? So yeah, you should have installed only 64-bit since at least Windows 7. At least. So why you have 32-bit is beyond me, because I don't see any case why anybody would need a 32-bit, like in particular for Windows 10. Just weird. But maybe Windows 10 32-bit isn't that big of a deal to you. After all, according to a statistic Valve shared in the announcement, it's only in use on 0.01% of systems reported through the Steam hardware survey. While Steam is a 32-bit app on Windows everywhere, that will change, as the company said. Future versions of Steam will run on 64-bit versions of Windows only. From next year on, that is, again, 2026. Finally, Steam is just gonna run only on 64-bit Windows versions. Might make it like more stable overall, because then Valve doesn't need to care about 32-bit instructions at all. So might make it more stable, more performant. Not that Steam runs particularly bad, actually it runs pretty fine. But sometimes it can just crash out of nowhere. No, I meant 5 more years. What do you mean 5 more years? To 2030? No. Microsoft will not give you extended LTSC to 2030. No way. They extended it already for companies. I assume they might extend like literally when the support will just be over. Bigger companies, bigger corporation will probably say like, oh shit, we haven't figured out our system is still like in use with Windows 10. We need on our 10,000 PCs still support and at least security updates and all that. And Microsoft will move on. Yes, I will show you. You can post it on Discord, I guess. Where was I? The company ended the encouragement that because core features in Steam are not supported on 32-bit versions of Windows, users should update operating systems sooner than rather than later. This comes as support for Windows 10 as well as 8.1 and 7 ends on October 14. Microsoft announced that although these versions of OS will continue working, they won't receive any more updates or technical support. But when they don't think it's Windows 10, man. I might be wrong. I might be wrong because they actually wanted to end it. I think it was 2023 or 22-ish. So I would be surprised. But yes, finally, Steam had like enough of this old crap. Why are we even still supporting that system that is in use only by 0.01%? Oi, Bimo! Some older hardware can take 64-bit, so in a small number of cases, Windows 7 32 makes sense. At the beginning, maybe, but it was already known with the Windows Vista OS. Now, news! We might get Cyberpunk 2 with multiplayer. Cyberpunk 2 looks like it will include online multiplayer, according to job listing. A new job posting by CD Projekt Red strongly implies, I don't think it's strongly implied though, that online multiplayer will be a part of Cyberpunk 2, the sequel to Cyberpunk 2077. The description specifically states that the employee will lead their team to develop and optimize multiplayer systems, including matchmaking. CD Projekt Red posted that the company was hiring for Cyberpunk 2 on X, with the official job title being Lead Network Engineer. As a lead and network engineer, you and your team will play a pivotal role in the designing and implementing the network architecture and online systems. The description says, you will lead and manage a team of talented engineers working collaboratively to ensure seamless and robust online systems. Doesn't mean it's going to be included with a multiplayer in Cyberpunk 2. Might very well be, but it might be only directed towards The Witcher 4 for some reason, who knows. It would make more sense though with Cyberpunk, because the characters are like less restricted to a role. I'm gonna have to go now, don't want to have FBI banding my door, blah blah, whatever, Helljack. Whatever. In January 2024, CD Projekt Red joint CEO Adam Badowski noted that they were considering multiplayer for Cyberpunk 2. In fact, there were plans for multiplayer either as part of Cyberpunk 2077 or as a standalone spin-off years ago. However, CD Projekt Red axed the multiplayer project in 2022 after the turbulent launch of Cyberpunk 2077 in 2020. Mainly on the older consoles. Yeah. Very bad launch there. Then they just axed it. I guess like they didn't want to make fans even more pissed. Fans, if you can't call that anymore these days. Oh. The era of video game remakes is just getting started, new report finds. They find everything. Those reports find everything, man. If I bet if you're reading this post right now, you've played a remake or a remaster of an old video game at some point in the last 12 months. According to a new survey of 1,500 other players, you are not alone. That's not a lot of players, though. A whopping 90% of respondents said that they also played a modern revival of a classic game at some point in the last year. And how could you not? More and more keeping coming out all of the time. The new data points comes from strategy and insight consultancy firm MTM, which this week published its remake versus innovate. Is the past the future of gaming? I hope not. Actually, I hope like people being still creative and making new games and such. But yeah, I mean, if you make a good remake, I'm gonna play it. Best example that pops up in my head is just right away Resident Evil I played recently, the last 2 weeks. Resident Evil 2, that is. It's a good remake, right? So it's well done. If you do it well, people are gonna pay and play and like it. But if you're just gonna be slop production, like actually with the remaster of Oblivion, now after a few months, everybody was like, actually, it's not working great on my machine. It's just nostalgia bait for some games, for sure. It interviewed 750 players in the US and 750 in the UK and found the overwhelming majority not only played remakes and remasters, but also often hadn't played the games they were based on. About 67% said it was their preferred way to discover older games, and 85% said they'd never played the originals before. Some other results from the survey. Only 26% of the players thought remakes or remasters could be priced the same as other games or the original versions, with the rest expecting them to be cheaper. Yeah, you need a kind of incentive, I think, there, that just psychologically people who played maybe the original more are not willing as easily just to pay like the same price for a regular new game. But yeah, you can see it in Metal Gear Solid, Delta, Snake Eater. Very high priced. So maybe people don't care though. Maybe this survey is not super representative. I still can wrap my mind around the world of gaming. It's entertainment. It's just lazy entertainment. Sometimes you get a good storytelling, you know. About 60% thought 5 to 8 years in is the ideal amount of time between versions. Only 11% thought 10 years or more was preferable. It should be actually longer, like to make a remake or a remaster. It should be a longer span, in my opinion. You don't want, like, for example, with The Last of Us Part 2, and then it came the remaster already, very, very early on. Stuff like that, I don't want to see. I don't want to see being, like, remastered very, very early on. You're just trying to make money with less effort, in my opinion. Make good remakes. Resident Evil 2 again. Perfect example, in my opinion. Only 31% found remasters or remakes very appealing. Yeah, that might be accurate. Like a third of people being like, no. When 10 is no longer supported, will I have to do anything if I keep my PC? No, it will work. Like I just told you, it will work, but you're just not gonna get security updates, which might not be necessary in the first place, as long as you just keep your stuff with email checking, just regular browser surfing without downloading just very weird and suspicious executable files. You're gonna be fine, usually. Because nobody is targeting you to enter your system and port something on your drive. While MTM's report suggests that many players aren't outraged at the idea of getting spoon-fed old games like their new games, their new game again. The sales success of release like the Silent Hill 2 remake, the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remastered. This one just pure nostalgia baiting, and it worked. It worked perfectly for Bethesda, actually. And Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta Snake Eater speak for themselves. The results aren't always cynical either. Night Dive's 2023 System Shock remake was a faithful restoration of an update to an immersive sim classic that also made it playable for the first time on console. Plural, yeah. I think it came out on Switch 2? Not sure. I think I talked about that on Switch 2. Few had the chance of rediscovering Persona 3 on PS2 or PSP, but last year's remake showed a whole new generation of players why some fans love it even more than Persona 4 and 5. Remakes and remasters have given no shortage of classic RPGs that might otherwise feel borderline archaic by today's standards a second chance, thanks to quality of life features that let you turn off random encounters or speed up combat. True. Many of us think like, oh yeah, I want the same experience, the exact same experience, just with a little bit better graphics and stuff like that. No, as older you get, the less you enjoy like certain stuff of those old games, because you don't like everything of the old games you once just possessed and just played it all day long as a kid. Some portions in some games really don't need to be ported to newer remasters or in a remake. Oh, Haste! Did I miss you further up there? No, I didn't miss you. You just came in with a big text. If anyone wants to wants help learning switching to Linux, I will offer my time. Also, switched to Linux on Rumble as a good resource. Channel is that? Switch to Linux. I don't think I ever saw that, but good information there. There are already way too many new games to keep up with. Giving me more reasons to check out an old one feels increasingly like a good thing. Yeah, sure. There are too many games, new games. Let's make more old games. What a weird argument at the end there. But then again, it's Ethan Gach. Klingon name there. Gach. Gak. Oh, nobody can wait for this, right? The Angry Birds Movie 3 release date moves up, adds Mr. Beast to cast. I kind of enjoyed the first Angry Birds. They were just easygoing movies. You can just watch them and they're fine. Like, not high effort produced movies, but they made money for what was the company called? I don't remember. Who cares? But it made money for them and they're okay movies. Now this one is not okay for me, at least. Who the fuck thought it was a good idea to put in Mr. Beast? I mean, it's gonna make money because it's Mr. Beast, because kids love Mr. Beast. That, dang it. And he has, I think, zero fucking thoughts behind his eyes. Emptiness. If you look in his eyes, emptiness is there. He is an empty shell. And he doesn't make as much money as people think. He is just a pretender, big time pretender. Earlier this year, Paramount set January 29, 2027 as the release date for the Angry Birds Movie 3. But now the film is being moved up by just over a month to arrive ahead of Christmas 2026. Very good time frame there, I guess. Many kids are gonna love going there and dragging their parents, and it's gonna make probably billions. Probably. The new release date for the Angry Birds movie is December 23rd, 2026. Perfect for Christmas. Motherfuckers. As reported by Deadline, YouTube sensation Jimmy Danielson Faggot, aka Mr. Beast, has been added to the voice cast of the Angry Birds Movie 3 alongside Webby Award winner Salish Matter. I don't know who that is. I think it's the same type of people. Neither of their roles were disclosed. Oh no, I don't know who they are going to voice. Dead eyes indeed. Very, very dead. But Windows 10 support will eventually be discontinued by Steam, etc. I just talked about that. Haste. For fuck's sake. Why you come late? I just talked about it. Links down below, by the way, for every article I'm talking about. Linux will do all of that, and there are privacy benefits. Haste. He is super normie. He is super, super normie. You have to be in the mindset of people being normies who have no idea. They are overwhelmed already with Windows, and Windows is like pretty user-friendly overall with installation and all that. So just saying, you don't put yourself into those normies out there. No Linux is gonna come close to normies understanding it in general. You have to get into it and relearn literally everything from like using computers in general. The best example is, which is more intuitive, is just Mac OS in general, right? But other than that, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm just not a fucking geek. You are overwhelmed completely. Absolutely, don't lie.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
I know your type, Hilljack. I know your type. Now, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds will be released anytime soon. I think this month. Not sure. We got more characters, which is a good thing if you want more diversity, right, in a racing game, and giving a little bit more shit to Nintendo, probably. Mainly because you can play it on Switch, and it will release on Switch 2 later, though. Maybe it's already releasing on the same day like PS5, Xbox, and PC versions. But Switch will also come, and yeah, they're gonna make some money. Good for Sega. Might Mega Man or Rockman in Japan Knights join the roster of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds on PS5, PS4. Mega Man will embrace his battle and chase days when he joins the roster of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds as DLC in the future. Early copies of the upcoming Sega Racer, which we reviewed this week, included an insert for the Season Pass, which references the previously announced guest appearance of Minecraft, Pac-Man, SpongeBob, Avatar, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. The Nickelodeon stuff. And you get like the Nickelodeon on release day, as far as I remember. But you're going to pay for the deluxe version and the season pass and all that. So, yeah. This has been corroborated by several sources now, with the fan site Sonic Stadium compiling a lot of the information. In addition, the back of the box also includes a render of Knights, confirming the classic Sonic team character for the game as well. I would like to play this, but it's just, in my opinion, too expensive. The base game should be like at least $60. For me, it's $70. At least, I mean, 70 Swiss francs, which is about $75 US, which is just insane. And the deluxe version is another $25 US for me. So why? Why? I would like to enjoy this, but it's just too expensive. You're not gonna give me enough like content to invest that amount of money. And unfortunately, the old Sonic Racer All-Star, I think it was called, doesn't work on my machine here anymore. I mean, I can install it. I try to start it. Nothing happens. So there you go. And I don't want to fuck around and find solutions. There are solutions out there, but what's the point? I'm partially to the small Starbucks, the double shot espresso cans. Been drinking those since '04. Don't have a basement and never drank a Red Bull. Call me stupid. There's nothing wrong with that. Never drinking an energy drink. I miss Jolt Cola. The most sweet I'm drinking is tea these days. Sometimes when I go shopping groceries, I take a can with some energy drink for later at home, just to relax. After the fucking dragging that shit, up the hill. Some sugar boost. Now, this is a weird news that just came out yesterday, and I'm confused by it. Report: Charlie Kirk shooter suspects Steam gaming history under review by Secret Service. It didn't take long after law enforcement officials publicly identified a suspect in the Charlie Kirk assassination for people online to begin combining the internet looking for his digital footprint. One of the profiles they found appeared to be his Steam account, which, according to Bloomberg, is now being investigated by the Secret Service. That's because the 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, who was charged earlier this week with murdering Kirk at a speaking event last week, reportedly used Donald Trump's name as an alias on the Valve-owned gaming storefront at one point. Sources told Bloomberg the reference to the president is what led the Secret Service involvement, despite the Homeland Security Agency having no role in protecting Kirk at the time of the assassination. Yeah, it just adds up. I already told yesterday some more of my thoughts about this whole thing, they found it already, the guy, they know, and the weapon doesn't match how he dismantled the weapon and all that. Put it apart and put it again together at the other places, and will just not work. Will just all that doesn't add up, it seems. Now that we know a little bit more, And weapon experts. I'm not one of them. I just repeat what I heard by other people who had this weapon, took it apart, told us, yeah, that this will not fit in that backpack, and I have a bigger backpack than this guy had. It just doesn't add up and all that. And now the Secret Service is involved. The Secret Service, who is there for the protection of presidents and I guess senators and just high-ranking officials in Washington, D.C. They are involved because this guy supposedly used at one point Donald Trump as his name. It just sounds a little bit not too justified, not very warrant there to use the Secret Service for that investigation on a Steam account. I'm just more confused than ever, and we're probably going to hear even more with time flying by. The Steam account many believe to belong to Robinson shows thousands of hours spent playing games like Sea of Thieves, Deep Rock Galactic, and Counter-Strike. The handful of public Steam reviews he seemingly authored were indistinct from the thousands of others posted for those games. People have also been combining through his apparent Steam inventory, which includes hats, trading cards, and other unlockables. It's not important, like that. Why? Why we hear stuff like that? It doesn't matter at all, really. Are you telling me now? Are you trying to establish the thought again that gamers are all evil because this guy played games too? Something like that? Are you trying to establish this mentality into people like Hilljack, who is a retard, an older retard? Swedish snes is my go-to. In Switzerland, we use actually a lot of snes. Not for me. I don't drink or smoke or do that shit. Yes, finally someone who is going to take social deviance down or just use it as an excuse to take more control. In my opinion, it's gonna be a fucking excuse. I don't think it's a warrant. Thank you, Sky Loves Anime, for the follow. Sky loves anime. Killer drank water. It's even worse. All the killers of this planet are breathing. It's just weird. It's just weird. Why are you looking into that stuff like that deeply and try to make connections where there are none? And I talked about it that the CEOs yesterday were called in from Valve, Twitch, Reddit, and I forgot the fourth one. Steam is among those gaming affiliated internet platforms which have been called to Congress next month to testify about online radicalization. The CEOs from Twitch, Discord it was, and Reddit have also been asked to participate. Despite a reference to Helldivers 2 appearing on one of the casing left behind near the crime scene, there's been little publicly disclosed evidence so far that gaming, memes, or any other part of the modern internet played much of a role in driving Robinson to allegedly assassinate the right-wing podcaster. Why you need to say that? Just say podcaster, influencer, use those words. Why you need to point that out again? Why is that so important to you to make this distinguished separation there? Right-wing podcast. You could have called Robinson a faggot too, just to make it more clear. A lip-tart faggot. So stupid, really. But in general, I don't like what is happening. It seems like they are going harder and harder after all of us sooner or later. Palantir, I mean, UrhG knows like something, it seems. Palantir, which is used now as an AI system or an overall algorithm system that can pick out information, combine information and all that, is used now by the ICE for finding like the illegals, right? And I'm just concerned. I'm concerned because when the Biden administration would have done all that, Republicans, conservatives would have gone like crazy, would have called that shit out. That's just facts. They would have called that shit out. But now they're praising like Palantir. Oh, yeah, great, illegals. Yeah, that's the reason. Gonna be used on everybody sooner or later. Sooner or later. Mark my words. And then you're not allowed to cry around. Like, oh, nobody told me it's gonna be used against me just because I stated my opinion online. Now I'm gonna get a visit by the Secret Service too. Are we in the UK? Just you wait and watch. If you're not gonna open your mouth, you're gonna feel that shit yourself sooner or later. I don't like what is happening right now. Right now, all kinds of entities in the government are abusing and using the murder of Charlie Kirk to forward new rules, new bad players actually in the government. Over the whole population. Not a good thing at all. I hate what is happening right now. And the Secret Service involved here just because he supposedly used Donald Trump as a name. Weird. Just fucking weird in my opinion. Hit the like. Yeah, you can do that. Oh, you've ever eaten, by the way. I'm here, but on the phone to Cop. Did you say something naughty? I mean, she's in the Commonwealth, so. And in Aussie, they have also stupid laws these days. I've actually been tasked by my superior to monitor Ike's channel. I don't give a shit. It's Kotaku, they're left wing. All those news agencies and outlets and portals are pretty much lefties. More left leaning, at least. In the gaming field, I mean. I know quite a bit, but never tell all. Keep them guessing. Sure. Critical thinking, you got it or you don't. If privacy interests you, check out Linux and de-googled phones. Recall how ignorant the average person is. I realize 50% are dumber than that. Explaining social media to a T. Fuck 'em. The more folks on their list, the more pause it may give them. Maybe. Or maybe you're gonna be in like in Stalin's Russia, you know? Like all are suspects and everybody is just fearful at home, not opening their mouths. Yeah, that's just the newest development here, the Secret Service being involved in investigation. Think what you want. I don't think that's a good outcome so far. They are gonna abuse more entities, more government sections to go after the online stuff in general. In general. That's why they now want to hear from Valve, like the biggest gaming community online. They want to hear from Reddit. They want to hear from Twitch. They want to hear from Discord directly by the CEOs. Okay, time-wise, we are good. Let's move those forward. No, yeah. Let's just talk quickly about The Witcher Season 4 may release alongside long-rumored spin-off The Rats. And it's reportedly a standalone movie, not a series. There's a rumor going around that the Four Kingdoms, The Witcher's long-rumored spin-off series, The Rats, will be released as a standalone movie alongside the Netflix show's upcoming Season 4. According to what's on Netflix, the film will be subtitled A Witcher's Tale and drop at the same time as the fourth chapter on October 30th. Marzi Almas, the Sandman, Shadow, and the Bone, has allegedly directed the flick, with Powers Haley Hal having penned the script. Why? I mean, it might be true. Sounds super weird. But then again, they just kept silent for now 1.5 years, something like that, with The Witcher Season 4. And dropped just the teaser trailer out of nowhere. And it's going to be released in a month and a half. With a movie? Like, I had to do like money to waste? What the fuck? I will say though, the Witcher anime movie that came out, the story about Vesemir when he was younger, kind of a love story. He met somebody he started to love and all that. The anime itself, pretty nice overall. Had a good story, had a good like anime there and all that. But your show is dead. So why you did probably waste money on a whole movie? Just weird. Whoa, spelling. Whoa, spelling? What? Nah, whatever. Not sure about that. Pick a hill. Anyone is capable of learning, but only if they want it. That's true. Biometric log on incoming. They have that already. You would be surprised what they already have. When you ever went into a city with good 5G reception. They probably got like a footprint of your whole body. The Witcher novels were feminist propaganda. Okay. Never heard that. Like all the novels. Hopefully one day live the Swiss transit police will swat Ike or Lois or any store. You went into a Lowe's, so yeah, they got your pictures too. Why you hope that? Why you're such a little dick? You would miss me a little bit. Don't lie. Rumor! Kratos to wield Egyptian sword in God of War's next main game. Which I'm a little bit surprised. I thought always, and I heard like the whole time, they're gonna make a trilogy in the North region. But supposedly not so much anymore. The Greek era games brought us the unique Blades of Chaos, of course, while the Norse duology saw our hero favorite the frosty Leviathan axe. Now in a podcast, Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming has said the next mainline God of War title will introduce an Egyptian sword as Kratos' weapon of choice. He doesn't go into much detail, only saying it'll be like the one used by the Prince of Persia. By the prince in Prince of Persia. It's likely a scimitar or in that case, but could potentially be a khopesh. Khopesh. I think that's how you pronounce the Egyptian sword. Khopesh. Like you've smoked and can't take any more breath. The later novels were feminist. They're the later ones. Be a second. I'm gonna start ignoring you from now. We can't ignore this one. It's not like a lot for both companies, for both corporations, not just companies, big ass corporations here. But NVIDIA buys $5 billion worth of Intel stock and announces major partnership for multiple generations of hardware covering consumers, AI, and data centers, fusing the world's best CPU and GPU. Hardware competitors NVIDIA and Intel have announced a new and major partnership with the two companies collaborating on multiple generations of hardware that will include consumer products as well as technology for data centers. In a press release, NVIDIA revealed plans to purchase $5 billion worth of Intel's common stock, subject to customary closing conditions, including required regulatory approvals. This isn't a buyout or takeover, but it is a substantial investment. It's not a buyout, but yeah, you're incentivizing like Intel to go with your saying because it's still a big portion, like a big chunk of money there, $5 billion just like that. For a partnership, you are demanding here. You are the guy who has the money, who gives the money, like, you know what I mean? So, and NVIDIA has the bigger balls right now. And maybe they are trying to do it over time, buying more and more stock and having bigger and bigger says in how Intel should do their business and produce CPUs and maybe get out again from the GPU production place. You know, you have no saying there. So our partnership should be collaborating. We make GPUs, you make CPUs. Let's keep it this way. Who knows? And for the consumers, it's not better either. I don't like this. The same with me. For the consumer, that means like two major players. Two fucking big ass players in productions of just chips, pretty much. CPUs and GPUs. Collaborating here. Not good for consumers. You're going to pay higher prices for products they are making together. They already control AMD's GPU division, allegedly. Maybe. I don't know how many stocks Intel or NVIDIA has of AMD. Could be. Intel plus NVIDIA partnership reminds me of the 2006 era SLI and Intel platforms. 8800 GTX SLI. I don't know if there was like a big correlation there with Intel platforms and SLI. I don't remember, at least. No bells are ringing like danger back then. NVIDIA says its partnership with Intel will see focus on seamlessly connecting NVIDIA and Intel architectures using NVIDIA NVLink. Integrated the strength of NVIDIA's AI and accelerated computing with Intel's leading CPU technologies and x87 ecosystem to deliver cutting-edge solutions for customers. Yeah, that's your main focus here. Cutting-edge solution for customers, like us, right? Who can afford like server farms. Who are you lying to? And I don't know, man. x86 is seemingly not to be killed here. Just doesn't want to die. Just doesn't want to die. For personal computing in the realm of us PC gaming mortals, Intel will build and offer the market x86 SoCs, system on the chips, that integrate NVIDIA GPU chiplets. When I heard that, that's actually might have potential for certain stuff, but that's just me calling for nostalgia baiting here. How about you make a Xbox classic? You could make like a super low power consuming Intel CPU GPU system on a chip. You know, the first Xbox is what I'm saying here. The CPU was 733 megahertz. For today's standards, super slow, right? And the GPU was kind of an NVIDIA GeForce 2-ish, I think, performance-wise, 2-ish in that region. So you could make a very low power consuming system on a chip. A handheld, maybe, actually. You know, with kind of SD cards, selling the games on the SD card system. No like a requirement for online and all that. You would at least win in my heart, you know, just saying. But that's just wishful thinking. They're never going to produce something like that, unfortunately. Just through actions, Lisa and Jensen are family. Yeah, he is her uncle. But that doesn't mean like money is really going in some ways. Like company-wise, corporation-wise. Idea-wise, probably more. But who knows? Who knows how much NVIDIA actually owns shares of AMD. NVIDIA to charge way too much. AMD makes more by just charging $50 US less. I read where normies will inherit the earth on was the meek. I don't know what do you mean. They also don't waste R&D on trying to compete at the flagship level, allowing NVIDIA to dominate. So both companies make more. Maybe. I was born in 81. Or a chip in your skull. Neuralink will come. Just trust Elon Musk. Hilljack. All good. I just heavily suspect that. I mean, it's not far-fetched that there's much trading going on because they are family bond. Could also be just plain like suspicion. Who knows? Smart agents who happen to be related oversee large tech companies. More news at 11. Fucking smart agents.
Cocksucker! San Francisco!
That's a smart agent right there. These new x86 RTX socks will power a wide range of PCs that demand integration of world-class CPUs and GPUs, NVIDIA says. The pitch is about what you'd expect. Using the world's best CPU. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, though. At least in gaming and probably on regular consumer level, AMD has better performance to offer overall right now with their CPUs than Intel. Intel has a little bit more troubles, just saying. With proper working CPUs. Especially they had always trouble since, like bigger trouble since the 13th series. Now even with the newer generations, the Ultra Core, right, with the H200 series, not going super well for Intel, not super well. AMD is taking a lot of portions there, revenue-wise, profit-wise. To GPU to redefine PC experience, per NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang's comments at the press conference. The folks constructing data centers, meanwhile, can expect Intel to build NVIDIA custom x86 CPUs that NVIDIA will integrate into its AI infrastructure platforms. AI is unsurprisingly a recurring theme of that announcement. Huang argues AI is powering a new industrial revolution and reinventing every layer of the computing stack. He calls his partnership historic and stresses it combines NVIDIA's AI and accelerated computing stack with Intel's CPU and the vast x86 ecosystem. Almost like peanut butter and jelly with a few slices of banana. Huh, I never had that. Maybe I should try that at one point. We are going to become a very large customer of Intel CPUs, Huang said at the press conference today. Similarly, Intel CEO Lip Bhutan, nice name, kind of funny in my ears at least. Intel's leading data center and client computing platforms, combined with our process technology, manufacturing, and advanced packaging capabilities, will complement NVIDIA's AI and accelerated computing leadership to enable new breakthroughs for the industry. And there is where my fear just is being like even pushed up another level. Like, you're working together, like pretty much the biggest CPU and GPU producer, like high performance CPU, because I think the biggest CPU production is might be Samsung or Sony actually, because of handhelds. And there is also Qualcomm, right? I think it was Qualcomm in the mobile sector. But for high performance CPUs, Intel is still the king. Intel has been falling behind in several process markets for years, and NVIDIA has been banging the AI drum with both hands for some time as well. So in some ways, this collaboration comes as no surprise. Just today, Huang argued general purpose computing has reached its limits. Again, championing the benefits of accelerated hardware, which he reckons sparked the big bang of artificial intelligence. Yeah, he wants to sell like big time his Tensor cores. I don't blame him. He's a business guy, right? He's a very smart business guy, and unlike fucking Elon Musk, he actually knows how to compute. He knows how to develop. He is a real smart guy. Elon is just a front guy. This deal will give Intel a shot of investment and seemingly a seat on the train that NVIDIA has ridden to reach millions of customers. Even so, the processor companies joining hands like this on a Thursday afternoon comes as a bit of a shock. And yes, it's kind of a shock because overnight the price here in Switzerland, already we see the price hikes of the stock. It went up 25%-ish. That is big chunk there. Whoever owned Intel stock and was like a little bit sad the last, I would say, 1 year, now again are on the same level that they have probably bought a year ago. So the stock price just boom exploded. We're gonna see over the day how the news will react, and people just reacting with buying and selling stuff when they hear something like that instantly. So maybe the price will go higher or it will plummet again. Who knows? I'm not a stock expert. I just checked the price today, and with compared with yesterday, about 25% up. Asked about the $5 billion investment accompanying the partnership, Huang said it is an incredible investment and NVIDIA is delighted to be a shareholder, and said the return on that investment is going to be fantastic. Yeah, I mean, if you buy CPUs from them and you keep buying it and promoting it in your systems, in your overall server farms with your GPUs combined, you might make a lot of money with that investment, NVIDIA. Who knows? For now, nothing is stopping NVIDIA, and this is just worrying me that NVIDIA is becoming bigger and bigger, and you can't confront them anymore, like technology-wise. AMD has big troubles with their GPUs. They just are not on that level, and they can't keep up with the price and the performance. They try to go lower with the price of the GPUs for gamers, at least, you know. And NVIDIA has just like, yeah, whatever, we can make our prices however we want. We have the more performant hardware, and that's just true. If you get like for the same price an NVIDIA GPU or an AMD GPU, the NVIDIA has more technologies involved. Ray tracing is more performant, it works better and all that. DLSS looks better, has less artifacts than on AMD GPUs. That might change if AMD just keeps on like working on their architecture. But it's just, yeah. As I said, as long as you have an updated web browser, you're probably fine as long as you're not downloading random things. Who knows? He might download deer porn. Who knows? Or rabbit porn, in his case more. But he is also a hunter. I wonder. I gotta breed the rabbit tomorrow, so I better start stretching a little now. That's one for like whatever that means. Oh, you mean you're gonna touch the rabbit dick? You love to touch rabbit dicks, Hilljack. RM will replace x86 eventually. Maybe. I mean, I thought that actually when I heard this new kind of news 15 years ago already, like, oh, ARM is like already super performant. It is competing easily with x86. So far, x86 is not killable. It just doesn't want to die. It just doesn't want to die. And this article right here, this news, this investment by NVIDIA, specifically for this architecture, x86, I don't know. This just is fuel for not letting that thing die. Windows and Intel was a thing. Should I back up my files and flash drive when I keep my old PC and no, not necessarily. Probe and Brave will support Windows 10 for a while. They will. The question is how long, though? How long? I need to try out maybe sooner or later with Windows 7 how browsers behave these days. I think Chrome is not very fond of Windows 7 in today's time. So let's see how long they will support Windows 10. Also, you can sign up for one more year of extended patches. Seen that, keep your computer at home, right? Patch downloads in the morning always fuck up my PC. Isn't that great? Ouch says Indians are Asians, by the way. I know most people don't think of that way, but they are. Yeah, you're fine, Hilljack, says Haste. Yeah, I don't know, man. To me, as a customer, as a consumer, as an end consumer here, in the end line, and when you know a little bit, you don't need to know a lot about that stuff, but if you know a little bit about it, that's just concerning. It's not a fusion, it's not an overtake for now, for sure, but it's concerning. They might invest more in the future, near future. They now have the foot in. That's the thing. Not very fond of that. Anyhow, we are done with the news. Kind of timely. I try to make it an hour as usual. But when the chat is live, I keep an eye on the chat and try to read everything correctly. Even if Hilljack tries to bust my balls with his stupid BIS crap. Dude, if I would have BIS money, I would fucking send some assassins your way. Shut this bitch down. Kill his rabbits in front of his eyes and take the meat with you. Don't give him any rabbit meat back. That's what I would do. I have sun. My lights, my LEDs is the sun. I have no reason to go outside. That's the thing. Yeah. Next news, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, here on this channel. My name is Ike. This is Switzerland.Playit with TAGN, or was better, with TAGN, the Angry Game News. Thank you for being around. I hope you have a great rest of your day, wherever that might be, morning, evening, or night. Enjoy it. Bye-bye. And fuck you, Hilljack. Why is he at top there? He doesn't deserve to be at the top. Stupid system. Have a good weekend, you too, Demo.